out.
It is.
Like, you know why I say that? Because to me, it feels and looks crazy as shit. Everything.
Well,
Like
and
so much stuff going on, not even just with me and, with you and people we know, but just in the atmosphere. But
well,
I feel like it's like I feel like that thing that Tasha had posted that time. I feel like I'm 3 steps from the goal.
yeah,
Like right there. Like I know shit is happening. I
I
can feel it.
feel it too. But that's the beautiful part about, like, that's what the energies are right now. That's
Yeah.
what a lot of people don't realize. And, that's a great thing to go in tonight because, the moons and Mercury's going direct on Monday. And just because Mercury goes direct, we still have the shadow period. So you still expect, some technical difficulties. But this is the stuff that, is happening. This is what the universe wants for you. This is, um, we are live, everyone, and we are just sitting here chatting
We're
because
just chit-chatting because that's what we do.
that is what we do. But this is also how we, Tammy and I, we really don't plan like what we are gonna like talk about and before, because it's real life, and to us, that's what makes us great and passionate about what we do, because this is real stuff. It's real stuff that comes up. It's real things. It's real life. But everyone right now is going crazy because of all these energies and with all these planets in retrograde. So if you're feeling like right now, like just like what the hell, like everything is warped, then you're actually in a really good spot, because the universe is telling you right now and is asking you right now to like get clear and straight on what it is that you want. Like now is the time. And we go into the new moon tomorrow into Friday. And the new moon is all about setting intentions. So what is it that you're getting clear about on intentions? I'm trying to find, with so many planets, I can never remember what is what exactly at the moment. And I can't find.
You know what trips me out? Everybody wants to talk about, going viral and all this other kind of stuff, right? But I've been following this guy. His name is George Cow. And he was talking about this thing yesterday. I saw this short that he did, and he was talking about how, if you start aiming for impact and you start really looking to connect with people, really on a deeper level. He talked about how when he started doing that, because he was trying to, get the 10K months and the 100K months and the whatever, whatever the buzzword is for the time. And he said when he started really, he stepped back. He said because he's just felt some kind of way. And he said when he really started, really striving to be of service and also have an impact, create an impact,
Mhm.
and create a movement. He said that's when things started picking up, even with a small audience.
Yeah.
He was like, I didn't have a lot of people. He said, but what happened is, he said, when I really just started speaking my truth,
Yeah.
he said that's when, the magic started shifting for him.
Yeah.
And I was like, that is wonderful.
It's the genuine.
Because right, because the thing is you can have a thing that goes viral, but then what you get from it? It
Nothing.
ain't fucking money.
2 seconds.
Unless people give you stars or whatever, or unless they click on shit on TikTok if you're on live or whatever, and they give you those little gift things or whatever. I mean, you don't get
Stars.
any money.
We do take stars for
Yeah,
what
we take stars. We're
we
good.
take stars. We both take stars. But yeah,
Yep.
but that goes into what we were talking about with the tarot card that you had just pulled.
Yep.
If your path is clear, you're on
Oh,
someone else's path.
I
You
should pull it out.
Yeah, do you want to be a follower? Do you want to be a sheep? Do you want to follow along with everyone else? Like I love like all these new people, like they'll be like, oh, the trending hot things, put these songs on to do. And it's like, why? So you can just be like everyone else. That's what we're, trying to teach people, and then you have us where it's like, God, be your authentic self. We are so unique. There is not another one of me out there. Why do I want to be someone else? Why would I want to be someone else? The only reason why you want to do that is, well, if you don't like yourself, if you have low self-esteem, if you have no confidence, if you have no self-love, that's the only reason why you want to follow. And so that is your indicator right there is if you're constantly like just wanting to follow everyone else, you have so much internal work that you need to be doing, because of the fact that you should be like, I am a star. I stand out on my own. I don't need to copy anyone to be me, and think about how,
I do it.
and like, I think about that because see, I grew up with that where, people are all the time like, imitation, it's a form of
Yeah.
flattery and everything. Bull crap. That says so much more about the other person. So like, I grew up, demented family. If you guys don't, know, I grew up with narcissistic parents. My family put the D in dysfunctional. And, my mother, used my sister and I against each other. And it was always a competition. I'm a short, skinny, petite girl. My sister is taller than me, but she's quite larger. We use our coping mechanisms with the abuse were quite different. I had sports and dance. My sister had food. But she was always, competitive of, you need to be like your sister. You need to be like your sister. You need to be like your sister. And so she would copy everything that I did. Anything that I liked, all of a sudden she liked it too. All of a sudden, like I even tell the funny story, and like, I'm in my 30s when this happened. Okay, people, I dyed my hair violet red just to see if she would do it. She did it, but like, I wasn't healed at that time to like really see like the severity of that. I'm just pissed off. Like, why does this person like just keep wanting to copy me? Well, it was because like, she literally has no self-esteem, self-doubt. She's filled with all the lacking stuff that she has to go around mimicking everyone else. How horrible is that? Like, when you think about it, like, just, that you aren't even comfortable in your own skin. But then the problem with that is, whether you're consciously aware of it or not, if you're consciously aware of it, then why aren't you taking the steps to make yourself better? Why aren't you taking the steps to make yourself love yourself? Why aren't you falling in love with yourself? And if you're not consciously aware of it, well, then really comes your environment. Why isn't your environment, possibly informing you of these type of traits or behaviors? Well, guess what? Most likely it's because your environment is toxic as well. But until we become conscious aware of these type of things, and I'm not about labels, but of labeling, okay, well, this behavior is this behavior is that, not necessarily labeling the person that,
Right.
we can't make corrections,
Yep.
on a healing journey. And this is why a lot of people don't do it, is that you've got to get so real and so
And raw.
honest and raw
Yep.
with yourself.
Yes.
Like, I sit there and I think about how, like, one of my biggest pet peeves is lying. I will cut you off so quick if I catch you in a lie. Because first of all, also in today, we are adults. Why do you have to
Yes.
freaking lie? Who the hell are you scared of that's going to come in and anything like that? Like, why, like, seriously, like, as an adult, why the hell are you even lying? It is very pathetic in my mind. And some people can be like, oh my God, you're being judgmental. No, it
No.
goes into of like, why as an adult do you have to lie? Why? Because it was most likely a behavioral pattern that you had to do as a child to keep safe. You lied about things, but okay,
Yes.
you're an
Yes.
adult now. You
Yeah.
have the choice to be in a safe environment or an unsafe environment. And if you have to continue that pattern because you're not loved or accepted, you're the problem, because you're keeping yourself in that problem,
Right. And it's your choice.
your choice. But guess what? So that has always been an issue of mine, is lying, because first of all, I was raised by narcissists. So guess what? They lie all the time. You never knew when the truth was. But guess what? As we are a mirror to ourselves, is what project. I was lying to myself every damn day. I was lying to myself. So of course I surrounded myself around other people who lied, because I was lying to myself. I was lying that I hadn't changed. I was lying that I wasn't happy.
Well, and you got to think, you were comfortable in that space.
I was comfortable in that space.
And that's the thing. It's like, and the other thing is too, you give yourself grace because you know where it come from.
Yeah.
And that is at that moment, that was your comfort zone,
Yep.
you know. But then once you decide,
Yep.
or once your eyes are open and you're able to see, because that really is the thing. Because a lot of times you think about it, people, when they grow up in different ways, you
Mhm.
know, that's what they do, you know, going forward. It's like, it's almost like people that say, now that I'm grown, I've turned into my mama.
Yeah.
Why is that? Because that's what you saw.
But it was a choice. You
Yeah.
choose to be your mama. You don't have to be, you do not have to be a product of your environment. I'm not. Why? Because I knew exactly how my parents treated me. I knew exactly how it made me feel. Why in the world would I want to go do that to someone else? Why would
But
I
if
want someone else to feel the way that I grew up? Why would I want someone to feel the way that I did in my marriage?
but you think about it, did your siblings
No.
have that same experience? You see what I'm saying? And you all were, you know, same mama, same daddy, you know, grew up in the same house, all of that, you know, but you were over here and they was over here,
Oh,
you
they're
know, and that,
identical to my parents. They're the spitting image, and none of them, and it's really kind of sad, but they have no friends, either. Well, I shouldn't really say that because I don't speak to any of them, but like what I know of them when I cut off 5 years ago, like they had no friends. So like even like my marriage, like when I did get married, like my mother did not do any wedding activities with me. Like I didn't have like any of those like mom daughter, like my mom didn't even help me get dressed for my wedding or
what?
any of that. Yeah. Nope. She didn't do any of that type of stuff with me. It was because you have friends. You have friends that can do that with you. But she did it all with my sister, and even was like, and I called it out. I was like, well, why are you doing that stuff with her? And stuff. Well, your sister doesn't have any friends. She doesn't have anyone.
But she probably was proud of that,
Yeah. Yeah. Because
because
she,
it sounds like it was what they wanted. Because if they can keep you isolated,
yeah.
then they can keep you brainwashed and manipulated, kind of like the church.
Yeah.
Did we say that? Did I say that?
Well, it's true. We can
I
have
mean, you know, the truth hurts.
it does hurt. But I was living in all that until I finally had my wake up. I realized basically the only thing I didn't recreate, the ex-husband, he was not physical violence with me. But he used to always tell me that, you're a product of your environment. You're a product of your environment. And that like went over my head because of the fact that at that time, like when he would really say all of that, the physical violence was what I was aware of. The physical violence is that's what I left. That is what I like when I moved, when I was 17 and everything, and I left, it was the physical violence. I have a permanent neck injury. So it was the physical, the psychological abuse that goes along with all of it. That was not even fully aware until I'm going now like through like I realized like how unhappy I am. I'm a single freaking mom, basically married to this roommate who I can't stand. I freaking hate. And it's just like I'm starting to like the kids are starting to make comments about the fighting and like the way that it is. And now it's starting to. And then even after I kicked him out, like I just kicked him out because I was so miserable and I was so unhappy. Like I just couldn't stand, and I didn't know about energy at that time, but I couldn't
Right.
stand him. Like as soon as he walked in the house, like it was just like, ugh, like death walked into the room, and I was fed up with it. And then it was as I'm starting to heal, and and I was in therapy at that time, and the therapist was just like, oh my god, like I mean, are these stories like true? Like is this stuff like true that is like going on, and the different things? And I'm like, yeah, like, and they're just like, okay, like we need to write a book about it. And then it was honestly about like 8 months after he left, and I'm like now like completely like happy. The brain fog is going, I'm starting to dream. Now it's like I'm starting to have like comments come back like, you're a mere product of your environment. And I'm like, the psychological abuse, the insults, the humiliation, the degrading, just the whole manipulating, the gaslighting, the psychological projections that he put on. And like I didn't even like some of that stuff, as crazy as it was, I was
Mhm.
telling a person, like I was on the phone the one day, and they're like, will you stop for just a moment? And I was like, what? And they were like, repeat back like what you just said to me. And I was like, and I did. And they were like, and you didn't see anything wrong with
You
that?
thought that was okay?
Like, you thought that was okay. And I was like, well, yeah, because the craziness of those psychological projections that he was putting on me, they were the same things that I heard from my father.
Yeah, so it was familiar.
Line of communication. So it was nothing. It like for a normal mental, emotional, healthy person, hell yeah, red flags would have like been going off, like, like protective order would have been like put in place with anyone who was like healthy with the stuff that was coming out of his mouth. But unfortunately, I grew up with a father who has no regard for human life. And so the craziness, it was kind of like the same thing. Like we would
And
get
you know what was the sad part about that? He was a cop.
yeah,
That is the fucked up part.
that is yeah.
Because you think about it, that's one thing that they're doing now. David and I was talking, he said they're trying to, weed out some of the bad apples.
Well, that's why
And
he
trying,
I
I was
mean,
gonna say, trying to, get that shit together because, they're doing crazy shit and then they're getting sued too.
yeah. And basically, that is why my father was let go of the police department, because he was let go for misconduct, which I was lied to about and stuff like that too. Is the reason I only found out that he was actually let go for misconduct about 5 years ago. It was like,
Oh wow.
even less than that. I was always told, oh, he just took an early retirement because he had his 25 years and blah, 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 type thing. No, it's because they have been threatened to be sued so many damn times because of his misconduct that he was let go. But you guys got to understand stuff about law enforcement. And I have, I'm a very, even though that stuff happens, and this is why changes need to, my father was still allowed to have his retirement. He was still allowed. So all those people that like he had no regard for and that he hurt, like they thought, ooh, he got fired. Ooh, he got fired. Ooh, he lost his job.
But he still got his retirement.
He still got his retirement. He was still able to go get other employment. He was
So
still,
they really didn't look. So what
nothing
they did was they set him free.
they set him free,
See,
so
and that's
that
the
is
fucked up
why
part about it.
I am a person of like the police departments and stuff need to change, because I lived through it firsthand. I lived through the corruption of, like we tried many times to have my father arrested, many times. And
They
nothing.
probably just laughed at y'all.
No, the one time, and people die laughing, we really kind of thought like, so the schools all, got involved and stuff like that. It was like really bad. It was actually over my sister, like the black eye that she had gotten and stuff like that. It was just like, ooh, it was like horrible, really bad, black eye. So she at school, they sent her to school, first of all. And so the school.
And didn't put no makeup on it?
Mhm.
What the fuck? Because
Or
typically
they
people
might have, and my sister took it off at school,
Oh yeah.
So my sister is a drama, but most people who do go through and who aren't healed are drama queens. So you got to understand, trauma and drama rhyme for a reason. They do go hand in hand. Whether you like to hear that or not, it is completely true. But so it just became this whole production thing. But they did get some people. The cops did show up at the house. A cop who did not know my father or anything like that did show up to the house. They came in. And then it became, we aren't taking them on a vacation. She's doing this. The shower curtain rod fell down and got stuck in her eye socket. That's why it's
Really
blah, 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 blah. They bought the whole story. But if the cop would have gone and done the investigation, they would have known at that time, guess what? Duh, duh, duh. We had glass doors.
Oh, you didn't have shower rod or curtains. Well, you also, you realize too, it had to do with persuasion too.
Yeah.
Because there was a whole different way. If the person had been, like Hispanic or Black or fucking Middle Eastern, whatever, they'd have been like, oh, no, we got to go check, we got to do investigation. We got to do this and this and this.
But see, but he also
we were
had
going to
such
do
a
persuasion.
reputation. Girl, I remember one night I got pulled over, and the cop came up, and he was being a prick. And he looked at gave him my license and stuff, and he looked at me and he was like, are you my dad's name's daughter? And I said, yeah. And actually, I'm about to be late now that you have stopped me for my curfew. He said, I'll give you a police escort home.
Well, that wasn't a good idea, was it?
Because he knew what a jackass, what a piece of shit. He didn't want to deal with my father. Because I
Oh,
did say, oh, and I'm going to tell him that it's because you pulled me over and I wasn't doing anything. You know, I got a police escort home. We were doing 120. I was flying behind that thing. And he got me into the neighborhood and he did the light thing again and was like, peace out, girl. That's how bad of a reputation my father had.
Well, he really was a piece of shit. Wow.
He was. But when you grow up in that, you know,
Well, it seems normal to you.
it did. And, you know,
That's what it is. It's like any kind of way that you grow up, even in dysfunction, it feels normal to you. It's like if you grew up getting your ass beat, then if you grow up and you go marry a man that beats your ass, it's not a different thing. It's like, you know what? I grew up like this, and so it's normal to me, and it's okay. You know, he's just gonna beat my ass on Sunday and Friday.
but you know, we have to get to a point is that we have to acknowledge it. So like I always acknowledged the physical abuse, but I wasn't aware of the psychological abuse. So like when I left, you know, because I wasn't aware of it, you know, I mean, yeah, I knew some of like, yeah, I knew how he talked, you know, like I was bulimic for a little time period because, you know, he had moments of saying like a moment on the lips, forever on the hips, use a gun, go to jail, eat a donut, break the scale, you know, type things. And he would say that all like in public, anytime I would eat anything, you know, because he didn't want me to become big like my sister. He was happy that I was the skinny little girl and stuff like that. But, you know, and that goes into the manipulation again. So I'm the skinny little girl. And then you like, it was
So
bad on me.
so they pit y'all against each other.
Then how horrible was it for her because she was larger and she was doing the food, you know, type aspect, you know, to go to it. But so that psychological didn't. But so I moved, you know, thought everything was okay, but I never healed. I never, because you can't heal what you don't acknowledge. Even
That's
if you
right.
don't know, even if you don't consciously, if you're not consciously aware of it. But in today's age, because you got to remember, like at this time period, like I'm talking like, you know, 98 to like 2003, you know, the internet wasn't like a big thing, like still yet, you know, a lot of people. So we didn't have the Google and stuff like that. We didn't have the resources that, you know, you still had to
No,
go,
we had to go to the library
right, you know,
and go in the card catalog. Or I think at that time you could actually look on the computer.
yeah, you could look on the computer, but
But
it still
still,
wasn't, but Google wasn't the way it is now, you know, it was still, but now today's, it's kind of like there's really no excuse. I mean, we have all the information at our fingertips, you know, you have all the information, but so the physical, I didn't recreate the physical, but I recreated the psychological abuse that was caused, the emotional, the verbal, and the mental. You know, that's what people need to like, I really hate that like people compartmentalize them like that, you know, that, oh, I had mental and then I had verbal and I had emotional. No, it's called psychological abuse. That you
yep.
wrap them all up together. It is psychological abuse. You know, they're opportunists. That's what narcissists are. You know, they see an opportunity and they take it for their own advantage.
Yep.
And so, you know, he saw like the ex-husband, he saw all of that. That's why he kept telling me I was a product of my environment, you know. But that went over my head because I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about. You know, there's not physical violence until like 8 months after. Then it was the wake up of like, crap. But I was still like, so if go back, like we've talked, like I had massive health issues at the time, like the stress was over, like my hippocampus, like, you know, I had an MRIs and stuff like that of my brain. They saw the damage. They saw that like my hippocampus was shrunk. They saw like, so like my cognitive at that time was completely gone. Like I did not have any cognitive like emotions to be able to do, you know, like I had neuropathy. I had like so many things because so when the hippocampus shrinks.
Well, what happens is your body shuts down.
It completely shut down. So now I'm like trying to heal that. And so it was, my body had to get to a point of that it started functioning for me to then actually be able to like cognitively be like, okay, this stuff has really happened, but we have to get to that point. And in today's age, again, as much as we have the fingertips, like I loved telling, like in 2022, last year, you know, gaslighting narcissism and manipulation were the 3 most looked up words. They were looked up 2,700% more than any other words. So we are becoming aware.
Damn.
We are becoming aware of that, like how these people treat. It doesn't matter who they are, of the generations. We don't have to accept this behavior as normal. We should not be accepting this as normal behavior. And people need to start is that if you see it being happening to your friends or, you know, coworkers or something, you know, you need to, not that they may not be in the right state of mind, but I always say never underestimate the value of planting a seed. Never underestimate of saying something, because, you know, the fact is, it's like when I left the ex-husband, people had said stuff to me, but I was not in the right cognitive mind to be able to accept the information that they were saying. But you know what? It did stick. It did stick, where when I was finally in a place that I could like sit down, I could actually breathe and I could actually relate, where it was like, all right, well, this person said this to me. What the hell were they referring to? You know, let me kind of like reach out, let me, you know, because now I'm in a state where I can now receive, you know, I can see that information.
So let's talk about that. Let's talk about how, you know, sometimes it takes people a minute, you know, and what I can say is that I know for me, it took me quite a few years to be at a place where I could heal all that stuff and really kind of, I say release myself from it, you know, because the abuse that my ex did for me was sexual abuse and emotional. So definitely psychological all the way around. And, you know, he would say stuff to me like, now, mind you, I was 17 when we got together. We were 17. So, you know, he would say stuff like, you didn't put on so much weight for what the fuck you think. You know,
Am I frozen or are you frozen?
yeah, I mean, you know, and the thing is I'm not going to look like I did when I was 17, because at 17, I was 105 fucking pounds, you know, and so I'm like, So anyway, but to actually get to a place where, you know, I could release that and it not bother me. You know what I mean? It took time, and people will try to rush your process. That's what I wanted to bring out, because, you know, it's not a tomorrow thing. You know, it's not all of a sudden now, you know, you got it and it's fixed and you're okay. And all of this is not that. You know, it actually really is a process. You know, it takes a little bit of time. You know, and people don't like to admit that, and they don't like to say, you know, because people want you to just be over shit and tomorrow, you know, just get over it. Just get over it.
Yeah.
But that's not realistic.
It's not.
And it's not even healthy.
Yeah, not when it's been done to you for a while too. I mean, there are
Years.
layers of it, you know, that have to come off. And I love that you bring that up, because like I've told the story before, but I posted a reel the other day on everywhere, on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, everything. If you're in an unhealthy relationship, you're unhealthy. You know,
Yes.
the title of my reel. And my heart went out on my TikTok account. A girl was like, no, the type of therapy you're offering is so bad. You know, she was like, the abuse is no way in my fault. And my heart just went out to her. And I did reach out to her because I so understood what she said, but she didn't realize, like, I'm seeing all of her wounds. Because see, I was in that same exact place that she was. Like when I first started on my healing journey, and when I would, there was a couple like spiritual advisor type people that I wanted to work with. And when I would get on calls with them, and they would be like, they would hear my story and they're like, all right, well, like I hear a lot of blaming. I hear like you need to take accountability. And I was like, hold the fuck up. Accountability. Like my first like memory of like my like worst, like not my worst beating, but like okay, I was 6 years old and I had a baseball bat taken to me. Are you seriously going to tell me that I have to take accountability? Like,
No, that was your fault.
that was my fault. And they're like, well, you don't get what, like the accountability. And, you know, a year went by I'm now further because I was like, well, screw them. They're just dumb. They're just stupid. Like the few people that I had spoke to. And then
You're like, they don't know what they're talking about.
they have no clue what the fuck they're talking about. They are so dumb. They are so stupid. Let me find other people. And now I did find other people who kind of like coddled and held me, but then I like kind of didn't like what they were kind of teaching either. And so then I kind of went to some other people, and then it was like, I'm an adult now. Yes, this happened. It was no means my fault at all as to what happened. And like, I responded back to her there, but I messaged her and I said, I did not say that it was the victim's fault, but you do at some point have to take accountability, and it's your responsibility
For where you are.
because as an adult, we have the choice. Does that trauma affect us? Do we allow that trauma to be carried into our present? And do we allow it to be carried into our future? We have that choice. Or do you blame? Do you continue to blame that this is why you act this way? This is why you continue to do this, because this is what you were trained, even though doesn't feel right, or it may feel right because you're so comfortable, but it doesn't feel right because you wouldn't be talking about it if it did. Let's be real about it.
And you wouldn't be watching that whole fucking video.
You wouldn't be watching that whole video. And so it becomes a point of that you have to take the accountability that you are an adult now, and you have the choices to whether you allow those people, you allow those memories. And now, not only do you have to take accountability, but now it's your responsibility to heal yourself. It's your responsibility. And like, I wrote that girl back. I don't actually know if she has seen it or not. I haven't paid attention to that or look, but like, as I told her, I was like, I was in the same state as you because I was wearing my wounds. And I said, but what happened was a year later, I went back and I searched out those people that I cussed out in the beginning. And I was like, I am so sorry. I completely understand now what you were saying to me. And you only had the best intentions for me, but I was so defensive about it. And like, when you try to talk and have these difficult conversations, and you got to remember too, like when you grow up in narcissism or anything, you aren't taught how to have these difficult conversations. So having these conversations about your emotions and having them about your feelings, like that don't happen, because I'll tell you right now, my parents never talked. My parents never communicated. It was yelling and screaming that was always done. I didn't know how to talk. So now I'm having these people come at me, and I wasn't in a place. I wasn't even in a place to be able to recognize that they were actually trying to help me by calling.
Well, because you felt like the victim.
I did. I was in a complete.
And you feel like everybody is against you.
And
because that's how victims feel.
But you know what's funny is I still, at that kind of time, I didn't really resonate with the victim. Like I didn't resonate, but it was a subconscious level. Consciously, I was not resonating in a victim mindset. Subconsciously, oh hell yes, I was in a complete victim mindset. And so what do you think what do you think were the people that I had in my life at that time? They were people, they were other manipulators, they were other things. They saw the victim, they saw the
other people were gonna capitalize over that.
And I had to be like, guess what? Because where I live now is not where I grew up. So all the friends that I had were really at that point, and now he didn't have many friends, but the friends I had created when I lived here, I wasn't allowed to be friends with anymore. He hated all of them and everything. So I cut off all my relationships and guess what? That was something I was necessarily okay with doing, because guess what? That was the example that my parents showed. My parents didn't have friends. It was, when you get married and stuff like that, it's supposed to be you all, and stuff like that. So my parents didn't have friends. His parents didn't have friends either. So like, to me, that was kind of like normal. Okay. Like we're making a commitment to each other, it was kind of us. That was the example that was being led. Now, it's completely wrong, in a healthy relationship, you both have your own outlets, you have your own, your sources of, where you do get fed. Now you come to each other and, for the main things, but you still need to have your outlets. But the friends that I did have were only friends that he approved of, which were all part of his crap. They were all part of his shit, and I had to be like, everyone's out. Well, then it became Megan's the crazy one. People would just show up at the house and stuff like, and I'm be like, get the fuck off, like get the fuck away. Because it was still part of that. Well, now there's something wrong with her that she won't talk with us. There's something wrong with her. No, I'm just seeing you now for who you are. That's what happens when you start healing. You
Boundaries. You put up boundaries.
you start, but you see everyone's true colors. You start to and so that's why it's like they say, like, the healing journey is the loneliest journey. It is. But the great thing, the journey is about finding yourself. It's rebuilding that confidence. It's rebuilding that esteem. You should be loving yourself. Your self-love should be the number one. Like, everyone's like out there talking about, oh yeah, I do believe in soulmates, but you're not going to find your soulmates until you love your soul, which
Absolutely.
is you. So all these people who are out there, oh, when's my soulmate going to come? Well, your soulmate ain't come yet because you don't love yourself.
Well, you know, I mean, this just piggybacks on what we talked about last week.
Yeah.
Love don't love nobody. If you don't love yourself, how you expect somebody else to love you?
Yeah. And that saying, like, you know, I really, that's the other beautiful thing. There's so many like sayings, and even like different like nursery rhymes and stuff like that, that like when you get on the healing, it's like they never made sense before, and now it's like that made sense. Like, if you really think about it, Humpty Dumpty was a narcissist.
And you know what else I thought about? Weren't Hansel and Gretel the ones that the lady put in the oven?
Yeah. Yeah.
I had some thoughts. I decided to keep them to myself.
Well, I don't know about that, because you kind of went in onto that, but that's a great thing of like, people are going to lure you. They're going to trap you, you know, because some people are so warped in their mind that they do actually evaluate their success by destroying other people. And I mean, think about that for a moment. And that's what a narcissist does. You know, they only feel that they are successful is if they are destroying you. Why do we even want to be around these type of people? Why do
Exactly.
You know, it's kind of like ship them off to their own island and let them all just destroy each other. Like, that's where the Hunger Games should come in. You know, how hungry are you for your narcissism? You know, go for it. All of us sitting there and, you know, picking and laughing at them of how ridiculous is it? And especially, you know, and it goes again, like, look at a narcissist. Like, I love telling people, like, a narcissist is basically, it's just a child trapped in an adult body. You know, like, just because someone should be an adult does not mean that they are an adult, because part of being an adult is being able to, like, there is actually a definition in a few psychology books that the definition of a mentally and emotionally secure adult is someone who can calmly express their needs, wants, and desires. If you can't talk and express your needs, wants, and desires with any other person that you need to be having those conversations, one, if you can't have those conversations, is it a you thing? Like, is it just because you're not confident within like what your needs, wants, and desires, like you're not able to, or is it because you're on eggshells? Do you know that, like, if you speak up about your needs, wants, and desires, that person's going to have a complete mental meltdown on you? Why are you staying in that relationship? You're an adult, you know. But then again, it comes down to, you know, my thing, we are adults now. Why do we even need to be lying? Like, honestly, like, how pathetic are you if you are an adult? Who's coming? Who's coming? Who's coming to take away your, like, Ken or Barbie? Like, who's coming? You know, like, seriously, like, how childish is it as an adult that we have to lie? Like, who gives a shit? But that's part of the problem, is that we do care so much about what other people. And so people think about how many people, like, you know, I even put like on Facebook of like, I was a fraud. Like, you look at my old Facebook account, I was like every other person out on social media, all the pictures of me and my kids, you know, everything. I made it look like I had this happy life when no one knew that I was living hell, because people only post about their happiness on Facebook. Yeah. Don't get raw and real on it. And, you know, take that even funnier on like how some people do know and do understand. Like, when I did separate from my ex-husband, my best friend, now love her to death, I'm not talking bad about her, But, okay, she brings to my attention, now it's probably because she knows I probably wasn't in the right state of mind to receive the information. She was like, Megan, I've been waiting for this phone call. We've been taking bets. And I was like, wait, what? What you mean? And she was like, Megan, he hasn't been on vacation with you in 4 years. You don't post him on Facebook anymore. It is only you and the boys. And I completely
So you didn't even realize people actually saw that.
did not even realize that people had saw and that people were taking notice of that. They were like, it's been years since you've posted, like you tag him like kind of on random things and stuff like that. But on otherwise, it's just you and the boys. There's no pictures of him out there with you all. There's no it's just you and the boys. And I'm like, why didn't people call me out on that? Like, why, like, didn't, like, you know,
Because also people are comfortable with that.
but
You
also,
think about it. They look at your cars. You're like, oh, she's got a beautiful new car. Oh, look at the house. Oh, look at this. Look at that. Oh, look at her and the kids. Da, 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 da.
but I also, every time we talked, I was like, yeah, everything's great. Everything's good. Everything.
That's what we all did. That's what we all do.
I faked it. I lied about it.
We all do. And what's wild is when you meet people like that, you can pick it up. Like I have picked up so many fucked up ass marriages and relationships and stuff with people because they start talking to me and I listen to them and they'll be saying stuff like, oh yeah, my husband this and this and that and blah, 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 blah. They'll almost be vomiting, right? And I look at them and then I won't say anything. And then later on they'll come to me and they'll say, girl, he's getting the fuck on my nerves and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
He does this and that. I said, you know what? I already knew that. I said, because I picked that shit up when you were talking, because I know it. I've done it.
Been there.
I used to be like, oh yeah, my husband is wonderful. Oh my God. Because, especially we used to go to church. And so people would be at the church and they would be like, oh, your husband, because he drove the church van right over there on Broad River Road. So he drove the church van. And so, they'd be like, oh, Brother Mobley, this and that. And, and he, he's got charming personality because he was a charmer.
That's what.
And so they'd say, oh, Brother Mobley, this and this and that and blah, 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 blah. So finally, I told you, when we were splitting up, I had a girl, she came to me, she was like, oh, Brother Mobley, this and this and that. And she was singing him all these fucking praises and stuff. And so, so I said, he'll be free in a little while. You want him? Yeah. I'm like I'm done, and then I had, people in the church was like, well, she must be the bitch because Brother Mobley is blah, 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 and he's just, and he's just such a nice guy. And, and he just, he jumps in and he works because he jumped in and he worked, in the ministry. He used to be an usher and he drove church van and he was over that ministry and this, that, and the third and all this stuff.
It was all lie. It was all to cover up his own sin.
It was all fucking cover. I mean, because I can remember, times when we would argue on the way to church. And then we would get to church and be like,
yep. Oh my God. We did the same thing too all the time. It's just like,
we're gonna be here. We're in the house of the Lord, shit like that. And I'm like, oh my God, and I laughed because I actually had somebody call me out on that shit, a friend of mine.
Yeah.
At church. She was like, girl, what's really going on?
But that's what we have.
I was like, damn.
In today's society, and not everyone's going to be receptive to it. I've learned, unless some certain comments are kind of made, yeah, you don't necessarily, because no one does really want who likes a person who does get called out all the time, or is that person wants to, but we have to look at the examples of what we're setting. We have to look at that, we've been brought here to earth, and I don't care what your view is on that, but
right. How we got here. Yeah.
Having a human experience. But the fact of the matter is most of the majority of all y'all who are watching and stuff, you have kids, or something like that. Our job is to leave this place better when we leave it.
Look, really? Yeah. Look here, because Al Gore was telling us about fucking climate shit for decades.
Well,
And you motherfuckers decided you didn't want to listen to that. And now shit is all shifting and crazy stuff is happening in the environment. And that was the reason why.
I will tell you, I have a very strong opinion on climate, global warming. People may not like what I have to say about it, but
Well, that's not new.
I know it's because we buried the dead.
Yeah, I agree with that. Because we used to burn.
We used to burn, but if you think about it, so it wasn't until the church actually came along that we actually started having burials.
Yep.
But even back then, it wouldn't have been a bad thing. It was wood. It was just a plain wood box that people were buried in. It decays. The earth can eat it back. Now we're putting all these metals, we're putting all this plastics, there are all these like synthetic linens and stuff. The earth can't do anything with it. We're
not only that, they're burying people with shit.
Yeah.
Like they can do anything with it.
Back in the day, Egyptians were the only ones who were immortalized. They were embodied, you know, that was it. That now we do it to everyone. But we're putting this, it's destroying our earth. And I don't care whether anyone agrees with me or not, because I guarantee you there's a lot of science behind it. So, you know, but I mean, it can't be good of putting all that stuff in the earth. Like our job is to give it back to the earth, you know, and we're taking.
We don't want to do that. And when people say they want to be cremated, you know, God, think about the stuff that people get when they say that. It's like, I want to be cremated. What? You want to be cremated?
Well, because
except my daddy. He said he's not he don't want to be cremated because he don't want to burn twice.
But I was just going to say, but that goes into that. People are so against it because they feel like you're putting yourself in the gates of hell. But the church also says it's wrong for cremation. Like the Catholic Church and stuff like that actually says that it's wrong to do cremating.
I wouldn't listen to them, no way.
Yeah. Not like
they're the same crazy people that don't let the priest, you know, do what's normal.
Yeah.
And that's why they fucking the little boys. It's terrible. Or the nuns, you know.
But
so anyway,
we just got deep on that.
We did. So I'm gonna share this card.
Okay.
Because I know that this is, you know, this is for collective. It's Yimiya, awakening.
Tilt it a little bit because there's a glare on it.
Okay. That?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay.
Notice the dolphins, the ray coming out.
Yes, and the belly.
In like when you look at cards, guys, like take in the senses. Look at the card. Like, what is it? She's standing. There's a wave coming. There's a wave over her. Like that's.
And she's pregnant.
She's pregnant.
Big pregnant. Like probably about to give birth type of pregnant. So let me read what it says. Goddess Yimiya controls the ocean, the amniotic fluid that nurtures us before we know ourselves. That hit me hard. I was like, damn. The healing, loving energy of this Yoruba mother, Orisha, never leaves you. Wake up. Awaken now to your true self. Are those tears of joy or sorrow? Let them out. Yimiya swallows your tears. You are vibrating at a higher frequency, so you see everything differently. This is Goddess rising. You are waking up, and once you have experienced awakening, you can never go back to not knowing. And the path of awakening is not straight, comfortable, or easy. You have chosen to lift the veil and have a real relationship with the divine. You didn't come to transcend the world while you're living in it. You came here to dig into the soil, plant yourself, and grow. The ascension is your divine purpose. Your goddess declaration is, I am receiving and radiating love. That's fucking fire. And that sums it up for us.
I think it does.
You know, it's like we're in this space of awakening. And it's time for us to wake the fuck up.
Yep. And you won't, once you make the decision to wake up, you can't go back. You will literally
go back.
And I think that is something that is hard that people don't talk about, is because that does kind of create somewhat of an internal battle, because you're like, I'm so used to this, but I don't want it, you know, but you consciously have to make that choice. You have to make that decision of that you want better for yourself. And when you choose it, when you choose and you verbalize it to the universe saying, I want better, I deserve better, better's going to start showing up.
I was going to say, you got to start expecting it.
Yep.
But you're going to expect it to go a little crazy for a second, okay? So just keep expecting it. Because it's like weight loss. It's like weight loss. I always say this, like weight loss. We want to lose weight. We want to lose it yesterday. But guess what? It didn't take yesterday for you to put it on. You've been putting on that weight for decades, and now you want to take it all off. Nope. And you expect 100 pounds to go in 20 minutes, and that's just not, this doesn't make fucking sense.
Social media might have taught you, and Amazon might have taught you of instant gratification, but real life's not instant.
I was going to say, or if you get these people that come in my inbox, because apparently I'm fat.
I get them too.
I get my inbox and they're like, oh, well, I have this thing that I created and it'll help you lose weight without dieting and something. And I said, no, something. And I say, listen, I don't believe in diets anyway, because they don't work. I said, people get on that keto, they lose 50 pounds. I said, then as soon as they start fucking eating, they gain it all back and more. I said, and I'm good with that. I've done it. I've already done those things. I said, I'm 50, almost 55 years old, and I've done many diets. I said, and so no, I don't do them. I said, what I do is I eat whatever the fuck I want. I said, I just eat it in smaller quantities.
And to that, on the dieting, for people who are who watch us and who are struggling with dieting, I'm going to tell you honestly, one of the reasons why dieting does not work, it's a lacking mindset. You're depriving yourself of stuff that you want.
And what happens? You binge.
And when you do binge. I mean, there's a lot of discipline and there's a lot of changes that you want to do, but who cares? First of all, what you weigh, no one really cares, I don't. And I know so
my thing is, if you're comfortable with it. Now for me, I already took off like 25. I would like to take off about 20 pounds and I'm good.
Yeah.
I said, I'm not trying to,
you're not depriving yourself, but
no, I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to exercise as best as I can, and that's what I'm doing. I was like, I eat what I want.
If you eat all processed food, start throwing in some greens, start, adding like healthier stuff into it, but you don't have to go make all these like huge drastic, oh my God, throw out everything that's in the cupboard.
Well, the thing is it's not sustainable.
No, it's not.
It's not sustainable because I'm telling you, I've done, what is that one that I used to do all the time? Atkins. I did Atkins and you know what? I lost 20 pounds in 2 weeks.
But it's not good. Your body needs carbs. Your body needs carbs. Like I cannot survive without carbs because, and this is also.
Well, you'll start craving them is what happens.
Well, but like you also do have to look at genetics in some ways of how were you raised? I was raised.
Not only that, you have to look at what you are, because here's my part. Now, my mom is probably about your size.
Yeah. But
she does not have all of these gifts that I have. She does not have the gifts below that I have.
I do not either.
You see what I'm saying? So I would not look good at 120 pounds now.
Yeah.
Because I'm wearing triple D's and my ass, is, so I can't do that. It's not sustainable for me. And, a lot of people I know, they lose weight and they lose their girls. But me, I don't lose them. They don't go no fucking where.
Oh, I lose them.
I don't. Because it's not.
I was a D. I was a double D at one time. And then when God restored me, he put me back to how I was. Yeah.
See, and that's not my story. I was 105 pounds and I still was a double D.
Yeah, no.
So think about that. So I'm like, no. And then, you think about it, as you get older, you need a little weight on your ass because you lose all that weight. And then what happens? Wrinkles come. Mm-hmm. Then you be running around here tiny, but then you look like you're about 105 and you're only 60.
One of a good guy friend of mine, we were having a conversation and, and a lot of girls, especially like when you're single and stuff like that, the weight becomes an issue with the guys. And we're taking this off kind of the spiritual aspect, but my friend looked at me and he was like, I don't get why these girls actually care about their weights because guys don't give a rat's ass about them. And anyways, come on, give up the pussy. Do you think that they're going to be like, oh, you got 20 pounds on you? No, they're going to take.
No, because you see these dudes with these girls that look like hungry hippos and they happy.
You got what they want.
And the thing is if you don't have what they want, then they are not the person for you. That's
Right.
the shit. Like I'd be damned if I'm gonna lose weight for a man. Fuck that.
Nope. Not happening.
No, not
So
happening.
let's
Look,
fly
not
this
happening,
shuttle
Captain.
home.
Yeah, we're gonna land this plane. I sent you this one because this is fucking amazing too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I sent that to you. I guess I probably could read it too. I'll read it real quick before we go. So this one is the Isis cards, y'all, and I love the Isis cards. But this is a temple of Lapis Lazuli. Let me show you what it looks like on the end on the card.
I can't see. Ooh, what are this design?
You know, there's sacred geometry and all that.
Yeah.
Star, and I see a triangle and something else up there. So the temple of Lapis Lazuli, your soul is very ancient and holds the wisdom of star peoples from civilizations with unique high vibrational awareness that can help humanity transition from a culture based in fear to a love-based community. You are here on this planet to be you to the fullest extent possible. Then you will help heal human culture so that the planet may thrive. That's what it is. That's it. So thank y'all for joining us. We're gonna land this plane. We will be back again next week to do it again. I'm gonna go ahead and share what I got going on, and you can share what you got going on. Still doing my my workshop, which, you know what's amazing? I have had a good many signups, which has been really good. I need to sit down and put them in the thing for the, the email list. But I got a good many signups from the workshop. And what I did last week was I put the first one that I did, because it was like one person showed up. So I put that one in there, and I just went on and did both of them. So I did Claire Sentience and Claire Audience. And I think next week is Clairvoyance. So that's on Mondays at 3 p.m. And I will probably do that again this time, because I felt like that was really good, because the workshop went long.
Yeah.
When I just did one, it was maybe 30 minutes. And I had allotted an hour. And so I said, it's okay, I can do that. So that's what I've been doing. And we actually were able to have some good discussions and stuff in it. I think I have 4 or 5 people show up, which I was amazed.
Yeah.
Because I have a whole bunch of people sign up, but people don't always show up.
Yeah.
But it was amazing, and I've been enjoying it. So I've decided to finish up that this month. And then I'm working on some other workshops. Matter of fact, I want to do one on, let me see what the name of it I came up with. Hold on 1 second. Y'all know I have to write this shit down. A workshop on releasing shame.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's, so I'm excited about that, because I know that's something that people need, so I want to, so I'm going to be doing some more workshop series, and that is amazing. And then I also am doing some mentoring. So if that's something that you're looking for, we'll work on your spiritual gifts and help you to increase them, because that's something that I just absolutely love to help people with. So if that's something that you are looking for, you can reach out to me, send me a DM, whatever it is, you know how to reach me. You can find me on all the platforms. Wherever you look, I'm there. And also make sure that you go and follow me on YouTube. Go on YouTube and subscribe and watch some damn videos, because I have almost 1,000 on there. So go there and watch them. And then you can also check out Straight Out of Savannah on any place that you get your podcasts. Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Listen Now, Radio Breaker. It's pretty much everywhere that you can listen to podcasts. I think Podbean was another one that I saw. So anywhere that you listen to your podcast, you can listen to Straight Out of Savannah, where I interview spiritual entrepreneurs. And so that's just been amazing. And that's me. Megan, what you got going on?
I got Zen Warrior Coaching going on. If you don't know how to get over the narcissist, I have my narcissist recovery program. It is a 6-week program where we get in through all the mindful. I love NLP. And so it's NLP, mindful NLP with chakra balancing. And we learn the holistic ways of being able to heal ourselves and giving attention to rebuild us from the inside out. I'm very passionate about it, and I love it. We did, I'm doing a hand mudra webinar along with angel numbers with Miss Lady Cleopatra, and it was supposed to be on Monday, but due to a scheduling conflict, we have actually had to move that out. And so now it is October 22nd, and the fee is $22 for that. And then, yeah, I'm actually putting together a workshop on energy in the chakras and how we should be speaking to the chakras, and what are simple hand mudras to be able to speak, basically the holistic ways that if you're interested in energy and how that exactly works with the chakras. It is going to be a paid webinar. And so I'm in the process of writing that. So if you are interested in
Not,
that, reach out.
I was gonna say not webinar, workshop.
Workshop,
They're
webinar,
workshops now.
well, whatever, workshop. If you are interested and you want to be educated
You
on what
want to learn.
the chakras are and how we can communicate, how you can tap into the energies of them, I am putting that together, and that will probably be in a couple weeks. I'll do that. Because I love the chakras, that was very transformational in my own healing of learning about the chakras,
Yes.
and NLP, with the PTSD. It's amazing. I love the law of polarity. And that's really, people want to complicate things, but like, that's really kind of what NLP is. It's reframing the brain. It's mindset work, and it's taking the brain from a negative to a positive, because if you understand what the law of polarity is basically the opposites. If there is a
Yes.
of you that is unhappy, guilty, shameful, feeling like you're a sinner, you have no self-respect, no boundaries, there is a version of you that does. And we just have to learn how to tap into it. And it's a very simple and easy way. It's not long and complicated. It's, especially like my program, it's 6 weeks. And in 6 weeks, you're going to transform your whole entire life. And so you can find me on everything. I am Zen Warrior Coaching, some way, form, or another on all social media platforms. I am also on YouTube. I am building up my YouTube. So I would love it and be very thankful and grateful if you would go out and subscribe there, so I can build that platform as well, because I want, my goal in this, what I do is it's to transform, and it's to educate and to help heal people. So the more people, if you understand the algorithms of how things go, the more people that you like it, the more my stuff gets put in front of people who hashtags, I do psychological abuse recovery coach, narcissist abuse recovery coach, NLP, heal your mind, heal your heart. But those things, the more you kind of go out there and look at them, that helps me to get visible, so that people who can hear it, need to hear it, they can get it. So appreciate that. Appreciate you all being here with us and liking us. But yeah, go out and subscribe to us, because, the world needs more people like us doing what we're doing, because there's 9 billion people on this planet, and we all have healing to do.
And we need to change this world.
We do.
I mean, really, it needs to change. We need to root it from the inside out, because it's a little on the fucked up side, but we're here for it, and we're happy, to do it. I mean, I love being able to be of service and really be able to help people to shift in their mindset, because that really is what it's going to take, for all of us to move the needle, all the fucking bullshit that's happening in the world, excuse my language. But we really need to do that, because it's just what needs to happen, and there have been people doing this for millennia, and a lot of people have been behind the scenes because of all the persecution and the things that have happened with people trying to shift, energy in this planet. But we're out here, and we are doing this work, and we have done the work, and we're still doing our work. So that's the thing. Healing never ends. There's always more work. I mean, when you look up, there's more work. Like, I actually have been, even healing a lot of stuff from my first marriage that popped up recently. And I just was like, oh my God, I thought that this was done. I thought it was, over this, healed from this. And I'm healed from it, but it popped up. So to me, it's like, okay, now it's just something I'm going to, dive into. And I have, and I put, just put it out there for myself, so that I can, move past it, because a lot of things you don't realize, because we we operate in repression as a coping mechanism. And so a lot of times we push that thing so far down till it takes a minute to pull it up. I love your nails. It takes a minute to pull it up, because that's how we operate. And so that's something, and I wanted to kind of share that a little bit just because I know that if I'm dealing with it, many other people are. It's
Right.
not, I'm not an isolated, incident.
And here's the thing that people need to like understand as well, because this is like what I love. In the
Yeah.
beginning of my healing journey as well, I said to God, universe, at that time it was more God. Now to me, it's universe and spirit. That's even changed within me. But I was going to have the most amazing testimony story. And I do. And I'm sitting here and I'm sharing the hell that I had been through, and look at where we are and look at what we're doing. And so it is possible. We are not some anomalies. We're not some weirdos. We're not some freaks we just found what works for us, and we do it. And we learned about it. It was passionate about us, and it became passionate to both of us because it worked for us. It gave us the transformations that we needed and that we wanted. And so we are your living proofs that this stuff works. We are, and Tammy and I both do, like, we do some of the same stuff, but like we have different stuff. Like Tammy's really big into like mediumship and, going there on that. I'm more of the mind balance, get rid of the negative mindsets, more and the chakra balance and everything like that. So it's kind of like we feed off of each other, because I'm kind of like the starting point, and she's like when you kind of have a basic line, then it's like Tammy's like your
It's
person.
it's like a synergy,
Right.
Because we also, we come together because we also had different experiences and some similar.
Right.
Like we both had crazy marriages and crazy ass exes and stuff like that. But, I didn't experience the narcissistic shit that she experienced in her house. I didn't have that kind of upbringing, but we, we have similarities in things that we, but we also, we have different focuses. Like, she said, I'm focused, on psychic mediumship and healing. I love to do the healing work because I love to see the transitions that people make. It's phenomenal. I love to see when people have aha moments, and I also love the mentoring because I know that, I think about it like this. What would I have wanted when I started on this journey that I didn't have? Because there were not people that were, reaching out to me to help me. If they were wanting $5 and $10 and $20 fucking $1,000, and I didn't have it, and there was no way for me to get it for that, because I was trying to live, and so, I didn't have that. So I had to do a lot of the work myself. I learned a lot from watching different, people videos and, but I had to also really begin to go deep inside myself. And that is something that I love to help other people do. Go inside yourself and ask yourself those questions because you know them. You know the answers.
All
We
there.
all know the answers.
All there.
We all have a higher self. We all, subscribe to God, source, universe. Somebody, I was in a workshop and somebody used Gus, and I thought that was amazing. God, universe, source.
What do
You know, Gus, God, universe, source.
Huh.
That way, that covers. Because some people are like, oh, I just call it source. Oh, I just call it God. I just call it spirit. I just call it the universe.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool. So I was like, oh,
did.
I like that. Because I always say the God of your own understanding, because you know what? Everybody has, and I'm not here to judge you or, tell you what to do in that way. I don't. And even, y'all, even when I do my sessions, I don't tell people what to do because that is not my job. My job is to shine the light on different ways that you can handle different shit. Shine the light on it so you can see it, because a lot of times when you're in the middle of it, you can't see it.
And see,
So somebody else is on the outside. I'm shining the light and I'm telling you, look at that. Think about ways, shifts, things that you can, deal with that situation. How can you handle it? Maybe you handle it in a crazy way, but that's not for me to judge you or tell you that. That's for me to tell you, maybe you should check and think about this. I do my kids the same way, especially now that they're grown. I say, maybe you should think about this, or you should look into this.
Mhm.
Planting the seeds.
Yep.
And
It's
I do that as well, even with my clients. I say, listen, because they even ask me, well, can you tell me? No, I can't. No, that is not my job. I'll say what my job is to do is to shine the light, open it up, show you alternatives and things that you can do, whatever. I can see it from here because I'm outside and you're inside.
no,
And that's the essential thing of what Megan and I both do. Because we're not, we're not people that are going to be focusing on, the problem. We're not going to be around here, letting you vociferate and cry and bitch and moan about the problem. We've already discovered what the problem is. You know what the problem is. We've already talked about that. So now we're moving on to solutions. Because we are solution oriented, because that is what people need. Instead of all of this, I've been in containers where they let people fucking whine the whole hour that we're on the call.
Yep.
And I'm like, no, that is not helping anybody. That's not helping anybody. And then it's fucking with your energy when you do that.
Mm-hmm.
It's keeping you stuck and in that place of, being a victim.
Yep. And
so anyway,
victim mode on it. But now
we've already covered all this, so we're gonna go.
Yeah.
But anyway, this was good. I really enjoyed it. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I hope that the people that come and watch the replay have enjoyed it. We are going to also be going on TikTok and doing live on TikTok. Because you know what? We can do it at the same time. Put the phone up.
Oh, that is true.
Go live on TikTok.
All right.
So we're going to start doing that because we want more people to hear this beautiful goodness that we have.
Yeah.
So again, thank y'all for hanging out with me. We're going to land this plane. Much love. Hope that your day is magical, that your week is magical, that whenever you catch this, it feeds your soul. Thank you so much for hanging out with us.
New moon, set your intentions. And it is a new moon in Virgo, so it is grounded. What
is it today?
It's tomorrow.
Okay.
It's tomorrow here in the United States, and it's Friday and like New Zealand and stuff like that. But it's in Virgo. So right now it is seriously clarity and get real, get really deep, get very clear. Like I'm normally not a person of like, you need to get detailed oriented on, but that's what Virgo energy is about. Virgo energy is about getting clear. It is about it's about those bullets of I want this, 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 this. And so with your new intentions of what you're setting to happen, make sure you're getting very clear and don't be overly vague, or you're not going to get what it is that you want. Well,
I got my notebook out.
Yep. Get them out.
So all right, I'm ready. Notebook, got my purple pen. It's all good.
All right.
All right. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and, set those intentions.
Set them.
And make sure you also put down the shit you're going to release.
Nope. It's all about
intention. It's not releasing.
Not
it's intentions and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. I fucked up. That's full moon, right?
Yep. Yeah. Okay. Right now, it's all about what are new intentions. New.
I'm good with that.
New. All right.
I'm ready.
We'll see you next week.
Yeah. Have a good one. Peace and love.